What is the name of a group of computers linked together to render different frames of a same animation? A. Render command module. B. Render herd. C. Render unit. D. Render farm. What is the most common name for the process of creating an item on a computer in 3D space? A. Surfacing. B. Modeling. C. 3D drawing. D. Sculpting. In most software systems, the reflection is actually made up of 3 elements to simulate real-world reflections. Which of the following does not belong in the reflection channel? A. Glossiness. B. Specularity. C. Transparency. D. Reflection. Light bounces off of items in the actual world to illuminate a region. This real-world light simulation in 3D software is incredibly render-expensive on the computer, yet it generates stunning effects. Can you guess what this simulation is called by most software? A. Dynamics. B. Volumetrics. C. Radiosity. D. Hypervoxels. What is the name of the method of adding color, reflection, transparency, translucency, and roughness after the character or object has been built in the program? A. Coloring. B. Airbrushing. C. Texturing. D. Sculpting. Because nothing is pre-programmed in the software, everything in a 3D scene must be animated manually or calculated by the computer. What is the name of the algorithm that simulates real-world effects like gravity, wind, liquids, and collisions? A. Motions. B. Simulation. C. Dynamics. D. Real-world events. What are the basic forms needed to construct an object, such as cubes, cylinders, and circles? A. Parts. B. Pieces. C. Shapes. D. Primitives. In 3D animation, unlike traditional animation, the computer interpolates the movement between postures rather than having an artist hand animate each frame. What are the names of the key poses? A. Static poses. B. Key positions. C. Graph frames. D. Keyframes. When creating a 3D object, it's a good idea to scale it up to the size of its real-world equivalent. A. False. B. True. Every studio has its own preferred 3D program. There is no clear winner, it all depends on the preferences of the artist and the studio. Lightwave 3D is the program of choice for me. Can you name which 2006 film about the Battle of Thermopylae uses Lightwave 3D as their visual effects software of choice? A. Sin City. B. 300. C. Shrek the Third. D. This is Sparta. Sergei Cherybin is currently developing a new A. Render engine. B. Game engine. C. Sculpting tool. D. Camera tracking tool. Mika Hämäläinen is constantly aiming to improve his A. Dynamic Paint Tool, B. Game Engine Project, C. Animation Tool, D. Sculpting Tool. Animating straight ahead activity is A. Drawing straight lines, B. Drawing the animation one frame at a time, C. When a character walks straight, D. Drawing the animation one keyframe at a time. The solid drawing idea entails A. Animators should adhere to the same principles of drawing as academic artists. B. Animators should adhere to the same principles of flying as academic artists. C. Draw lines that are solid. D. Don't make your drawing too light. What is the best way to include a cone? A. Shift A curve cone, B. Shift A mesh cone, C. Shift A armature cone, D. Shift A metaball cone. Most objects require time to accelerate and decelerate, which is the principle of A. Slow in, slow out, B. Fast in, slow out, C. Slow upwards, slow downwards, D. Animation. What are some of the things you can do with Blender? A. Games and applications, B. Video compositing, C. Renderings, D. Games, applications, renderings, video compositing, and more. How will you be able to reveal all of the hidden objects? A. Press the Alt and H keys, B. Press the Shift and H keys, C. Press the Shift and S keys, D. Press the Alt and S keys. What is the name of the method of adding color, reflection, transparency, translucency, and roughness after the character or object has been built in the program? A. Coloring, B. Airbrushing, C. Texturing, D. Sculpting. What is the most common name for the process of creating an item on a computer in 3D space? A. Surfacing, B. Modeling, C. 3D drawing, D. Sculpting. Blender 3D animation. Blender is a free and open-source 3D creative program that can handle almost every element of 3D production. The program supports the entirety of 3.js, an open-source JavaScript library for creating interactive 3D scenes used in many games and websites. Blender was developed with ease of use in mind and is noted for its intuitive interface that can be adapted to use by beginners. When you create your first 3D project within Blender, you'll probably want to make it more than just a static image or short video. For this reason, it's often recommended that users turn to Adobe Flash Professional CS5 instead of using Blender as their primary tool for post-production work. However, Blender is more than a tool for creating static images and videos, and there are many great ways to use it for 3D production. Using Blender to create game levels allows you to use the program's intuitive user interface to retrieve information from the object's interior and exterior, including connections between vertices that form faces.